Hi, my name's Chris, and thank you for choosing Lightspeed Voice. Today we're going to be going over the Grandstream GXP2135 phone. So the first thing we're going to do is just go over the entire phone real quick, just so I can point out every button so you can see what each one is, and then we will break them down throughout the video. So in the upper left, we have your line buttons. On the right side, we have park, along with your parking spaces. If you hit next down here, you'll see you've got more BLF buttons available. Here you have your Gen VM, your history, and if you push this button down here, you'll get more options along the bottom. On the left side here, this pause looking button is your hold button. Next to that, the envelope is your personal voicemail, and to the right of that is the directory. Now if we move over here, we see the arrows and the button in the center. That is for navigating the menu on the phone, and the button is like an enter button. Here's your number pad, the same on every phone you've ever had. And over here is your mute button. That's the microphone with a slash going through it. To the right of that is your headset button. This will enable and disable the headset. Down here is your transfer button, conference button. The green phone is the answer button. On the right there is your speakerphone. And below that, this volume control is for in-call, and outside of call, it controls your ringer volume. On the left side, we have your handset. Dialing on the 2135 is just like many other phones you've ever had. You can pick up the handset, you'll hear a dial tone, and we can dial a number. We'll go ahead and give Lightspeed Voice a call here again. And once we dial the whole number, you'll see it send, and we'll hear our phone call. And you can hang up the call either just by hanging up the receiver. You also have end call, transfer, and conference here along the bottom. So your phone screen has a lot of different functions. You'll see your BLF buttons on the left and right here showing you who's on a call. And like you may have known already, if you hit next, you can go to your next screen. So there's just one person on this screen. And if we hit next again, we have our screen with our lines and our parking feature. Along the bottom though is where you'll see some different things. Now when we go from screen to screen, that stays the same. But where this might change is while you're on a call. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my phone, and I'm going to dial a phone number here. I'm going to dial Lightspeed Voice 941. And once I dial the full number, it will call out. Now you see things changing here along the bottom. Now it says end call, it says transfer, conference. This is just something to be aware of. Now you can hang up just by hanging up the phone or hitting end call there. They'll do the same thing. But this is something to be aware of. These buttons along the bottom, although when you're in the main screen will generally stay the same, will constantly update based on what you're doing. So if you're on a call and you want to transfer, there will be a transfer option there. You can also use transfer, as we've gone over before, along the bottom right of the phone. Just be aware that it updates frequently. Okay, so we're going to go over the line keys here on the left side of the screen. Now you're going to see your extension in the upper left. That is your first line by default. If I was to push that, it would open that up. But that's really not necessary to do. If you're just planning on picking up the phone and making a call, just pick up the phone and make a call. It's automatically going to go to that slot. If you want to make a call from another line, you could just push that and then dial the number. Not really necessary, but if for any reason you wanted to do that, that is an option. Your hold button is this one that looks like a pause button here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm already on a call. I'm going to push the pause button or the hold button. And we'll see that this call with the little pause symbol next to it is now on hold. Now if I wanted to make another call, I could always push one of my other lines and I get an open line. That call will stay on hold and I can make another phone call if I need to. Say I need to call a claims department or something like that to check on something that this person needs. Well, if I've already made my other call and I'm done with that, I can end that call. And that one's still available. You see it flashing here, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that back up. And now I'm back on the call that I had on hold. So the park feature is kind of like a waiting room. When I put a call on park, anyone can then come take that call. So to show you how the park works, I'm going to go ahead and put this call that I'm on already on park. The very upper right button, the one that's dark, is your parking button. That's only used to put a call on park. It's not used for answering or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and park this call.
9001.
Now what it's saying when it says 9001 is it's telling me which parking spot that call just went into. It will always go into the first available. If there was already a call in 9001, it would go into 9002. Now what you do from here is up to you. If you want to reach out to somebody in the office, you expect to take this call. You can either write them a message or call them. But if you need to pick this call back up yourself, you are definitely one of the people who can answer it. So I see that it's in 9001. All I have to do is push the corresponding button to then answer that call, which I'll go ahead and do now. And now I'm back on this call. BLF buttons have a few different functions, one of them being showing you whether the line is in use or not. Now you can see this one is red, or a couple of these are red here. That means that those people are on the phone. We can still call them, but they are on the phone, they may not pick up. Green means that the line is open and available, so I could call it and that person should be available to pick up their phone. Now we only have a few here on the phone, but we actually have more available if we need it. This button in the bottom left that says next allows us to go to our next page. Now we only have so many extensions here, so our next page only has one person, but this could be more filled out if you needed it to be. And you can see that they are also on the phone, they are red. We're gonna go ahead and hit next again, and that takes us to our main page, which has our lines and our park with the parking spaces. You can keep cycling through by pressing next to whichever screen you need. Now we see an extension's open, so we're gonna go ahead and give them a call. Now they may or may not pick up. We're going to go ahead and end that call here, but that is a quick way to call them and a quick way to see if somebody's on the phone or not. There's two main ways to transfer, cold transfer and warm transfer. Cold transfer, or blind transfer, is when you just send a call directly to the person you want to get that call to. Warm transfer, obviously, is when you want to talk to them first and then give them the call. So we see we're on a call here. We're going to go ahead and do a blind or cold transfer first. Now your transfer button on the phone is this phone pointing to another phone, so you go ahead and push that. You'll hear the open line, and we can pick an extension we're going to send it to. We're going to send it to 321. Now we've dialed that, we need to press transfer again. So it's transfer, extension transfer. Now we see they're ringing. Now say I did this by accident and I actually didn't want to transfer that call. Well, we see they're ringing. I'm just going to go ahead and push that button corresponding with their extension there, and that'll give it back to me. Now we're going to do a warm transfer. Very similar. You're going to use your transfer button again. Hear that open line. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and we're going to hit pound. What the pound does is it sends us to that person. So I can speak to them now if I want to. Now say they've picked up and I'm speaking to them already. Once I want to put them together, I can either push transfer here or here. Sometimes you'll see the same function on multiple places. So go ahead and push transfer, and now they are together on a call. Now there's two types of voicemail that you have within the office. You have your personal voicemail and your general voicemail. When checking your general voicemail for the first time, you're going to press that button there, and it's going to say mailbox. Your mailbox by default is 199 if you're a single office location. If you have multiple offices, it might be something different, which you'll see in your user guide email, but for most people it'll be 199. Now it'll then ask for your password. By default, the password is 199. It's then going to walk you through the setup process for your voicemail. You're going to record your unavailable message, your busy message, everything the office needs. And at the end of that, you'll want to update your password to anything but the default, or it's going to bug you to do it again. Now this is the same for your personal voicemail. That envelope symbol there, you'll push that. The only difference is it's not going to ask you for the mailbox, it's just going to ask you for the password. You're on your extension, so it knows that that's the mailbox you want to check, so you push that and it says password. Your password by default is your extension number. For me, it would be 1313. Now it's the same as the general voicemail setup. I'm going to record everything I need, and at the end I want to update my password. You'll also receive your voicemail in your email if on your admin portal you have your email address associated with your extension or the general voicemail box. If you need any assistance setting that up, please let us know. We've gone over setting up your voicemail, but how about checking it? Well, it's pretty much the same method. Now we see that we have a voicemail here because we have a flashing envelope symbol in the upper right of the phone. This will flash whether you have a Gen VM or a personal voicemail. So you just need to be aware of which one needs to be checked. If you check one and it doesn't go away, then it's the other one. So personal voicemail, push that button there, the little envelope symbol, you enter your password, you'll be in the mailbox and you can check to see if you have anything. General voicemail, push that, enter the mailbox extension, usually 199, and the password is whatever you set it up as. Once you check it and all new voicemail has been checked, this will stop flashing and you'll be good to go. The directory is like a phone book built into the phone for quick access to maybe contacts that you frequently call. Now the directory button is this open book looking button here. We're going to push that, and we don't have any contacts, but if you wanted to add a new one, you push this button that says new here, and you can start entering the information using the keypad. Now we're going to go back, and you'll see the button that says download. If you need Lightspeed Voice to upload a mass directory phone book that you might have already, please contact us. We will definitely help you with that. And you see along the top here, if you use the left and right arrows, you have blacklist and whitelist. So you have a way to kind of narrow down your contacts here. If you want to search for a particular one, you can use the keypad as long as that search is highlighted there and start entering a phone number or a name to narrow it down to make a call to the person you're looking for. The wired headset is pretty easy to set up. On the back of your phone, you're going to see a port that says headset. Go ahead and plug that wired headset in there. And then on the front of the phone, you're going to see when you push the headset button, a little headset icon. That means you're using the wired headset. You can turn this off by just pushing that again. So off and on by using the headset button there. Wireless headsets, or Bluetooth headsets as I have here, need to be paired to your 2135. This is a Plantronics Voyager Legend. This is one of the most common headsets that we recommend with these phones. So in order to pair it, first thing we're going to do on the phone is go to the menu, push in the center button here, and then we're going to scroll over and click System, and then go down to Bluetooth, click Bluetooth, and then if we scroll all the way down on Bluetooth, you'll see Start Scan. Now before we click Start Scan, we're going to put the headset in pairing mode. Now we're going to turn it on the back. You'll see we just need to turn that little switch up so that it's blue, it's on. And on the bottom, towards the front, you see a little button here and a little button right here. So right here and right here, you're going to hold those down at the same time. Now by holding those down at the same time for a couple seconds, you're going to be putting the device in pairing mode so that it can pair with the phone. Now we take a look on the back and we see that it's flashing blue and red. That means it's trying to discover something. So we're going to give it something to discover by starting scan. Now we see here, if we scroll down just a little bit, we already see the Plantronics Legend and it's unpaired. So right on the right side, we can click pair and it'll say pairing. It'll tell us our device code. For a headset like this with a phone, doesn't really matter. So we're just going to hit dismiss. And you'll see now that it's connected. And we can use this just as we would our phone and you're good to go. A conference call is anytime we're already on a call and we want to bring in another party. There's two different methods for bringing parties together in a conference call. Kind of like with transferring, where you have a cold transfer and a warm transfer, there would be a cold and warm conference, you could say. Cold being the direct method where we just bring somebody in right away, and warm being where we talk to them first and then we bring them in. First, we're going to go over the cold conference. So your conference button is the three heads down here. We're going to go ahead and push that, and you hear the open line, and then we're going to call the party we want to bring in. Now we're going to hit dial, and then the conference button again right away. That brings everybody together. You can see on the phone there that the parties are linked together. Now we're all on a call, and I don't need to be a part of this call anymore. If for any reason I don't need to be, I can just hang up. You don't need to stay in a conference call. It won't disconnect them. So say you're trying to connect two parties, maybe a claims department or something like that, and you don't want to be on the call the whole time. You don't want to sit there with nothing for you to do. As soon as everybody's linked up, you can end that call. That call will not end. They will stay together. A warm conference, or the indirect way of bringing more than one call together, is done with the same exact method. You actually just wait on one of the steps. So we're going to do this now. Your conference button, as we just previously went over, is the three heads down here. We're going to push that. We're going to dial the number that we want to bring in, and we're just going to push dial. And then we're not going to push the conference button immediately after. This is just a regular call going out. We would speak with them, and then once they're ready to be brought in, we can push conference again and we're all together. If we don't want to do that, say we talk to them and we decide we don't want to do a conference, we can just hit end call and we'll go back to the call we were on. So I'm going to push conference now, and you'll see all three are together. And that's it. That's all you need to do to have three parties, but if you want to speak to one of the parties first. There's a few different ways to engage the speakerphone. Now your speakerphone is in the bottom right here, a little speaker looking symbol. Now if I were to press that, I hear dial tone. I can call somebody and push dial and just end that call. Or I can just start dialing. Let's go ahead and just give Lightspeed Voice a call here. And nothing will happen because I'm doing on-hook dialing. The phone is hung up still, so I'm going to hit dial.
Thank you for calling Lightspeed.
And you hear it automatically go into the speakerphone because the phone was hung up, so it just automatically triggered that. Now I can go to the handset by just picking it up, and I can hear everything right through the handset. Now if I were to just hang this up, it would hang up the call because we're on the handset. If we want to go back to speakerphone,
To join a conference,
we just hit the speakerphone button, and then we can hang the phone up, no problem. And just like any other time, if we'd like, we can just hit the end call button when we're ready to end that call. The green phone button along the bottom right here will have a few different functions, but one of the main functions it has is taking you to your history. I'll go ahead and push that there, and we'll see by default we're on our dialed history. Now we can delete, clear all, and dial directly from this history. We can also scroll left and right to go between different types of calls. We've missed calls, transferred, all, which will just go over everything that's going through this phone and then just answer it itself. So if we need to delete, clear all, or dial any of that, we can do that here. And if we just press the home button, that's how we'll back out of this menu. The volume control along the bottom serves two different purposes. That controls your ringer volume, so I'll go ahead and press that now. And you can hear my ringer getting louder and quieter. It also controls the in-call volume. So if I pick up my phone, I hear a dial tone, and if I press plus, you'll see on the screen there it's going up or down depending on what I press. Now, if you ever come in and your phone's not ringing properly, there could be a few different reasons, but sometimes if you're out of the office for a day and your phone's been ringing off the hook, somebody might come on over and turn your phone all the way down. Now, it should still ring. It's very quiet, but it's still ringing technically. You might not hear it. So you might think your phone's not ringing, you don't hear it ringing. So if you ever have that issue, just make sure to check. Oh, yeah, it actually is working. It was just turned all the way down. So that's a good place to start. When your phone arrives, first thing you're gonna have to do is unbox it and set it up. So real quickly, we're gonna go over just some of the things that you'll need to do when setting up the phone. Let's take a look. This is what your phone will look like once it's already connected and set up. You see my extension here in the upper left, it's green, that means it's good to go. But what you need to see as far as setting it up is on the back. So let's turn this phone around and take a look at it here. So we have a couple cords and a couple ports here. We'll look at the left side. So we see there's a PC port and a LAN port, and I only have a cable going into the LAN port. And why is that? Well, the LAN port is where the internet needs to go. If the internet's going into the LAN port, that means your phone will get a connection. The PC port isn't 100% necessary depending on your office setup. The Ethernet cord you'll get is fairly short in the box. Now, why is that? Well, it's because it's assumed that you already have an internet connection at your desk that maybe goes into the computer already. And if this is your first time with a VoIP phone, you'll want to unplug it from the back of the computer and put it in the LAN port here, and then take the other cable that's provided in the box and plug it into the PC port, and then run that to your computer. It daisy chains the internet along, and that's how you get internet to your PC also. Now over here, you're gonna see two other ports, headset and handset. I'm gonna tilt that a little so you can see it. Okay, so your handset obviously needs to go into the handset port. That's the one on the right. The headset port would be the one on the left if you decided to get a wired headset. If you plug the handset into the headset, you will hear nothing when picking up the handset, so be aware of that. And there's one more port to look for here. It is the power port. So I don't have anything plugged in there. How is my phone working with nothing plugged in there? Well, I have PoE, or power over Ethernet. So I don't need to use the power supply, but this is the power supply that will come with it. See that there? And it goes in there after being plugged into the wall. Important piece of information. If you plug in a power supply that did not come in the box, even if it's the exact same model phone that you already have, it's a replacement or it's a Grandstream model of a previous one, do not use that power supply. Always use the one that comes with it, or it will void the warranty and you could fry your phone and then be buying a new phone. So when you unbox these and you set these up, always use the power supply that comes with it. This phone has been tested with this power supply. We don't send them out unless we know the one that's going with it works. So always do that. And you'll have this little piece you can attach here that props the phone up if you want to do that. And once you are all good to go, I'll get to the screen here. We'll hit next a few times and you can see that our phone, once that's all done, is all set up and good to go.